Alright, listen, we need something huge here. Bro, I can't lie. I'm tired. Steven's passed out. Hey, yo, is he okay? Check on him. Steven, you good? Jack's ordering a Deliveroo right now. No one's on it at the moment. Bun this, man. I'm gonna put the ball long. Get on your bike. Say no more. That's just not legal. BMX for a goal. Wait, hang on, is that my Deliveroo? Yo guys, it is your boy Niran here, and you are watching FTW. This, of course, the series where I bring to you the best and more frequently the worst of what the world of football has to offer during the last 7 days. But what's been kicking off in the world this week? Well, a lot's been happening, I'll be real. A submarine exploring the Titanic has gone missing. Only a finite amount of oxygen is on board, and at the point of recording, they're still early on in the search. Whilst things are looking bleak, I do obviously hope everyone is found, and my prayers are with the families and friends of those on board. I do genuinely have some questions about this though. Question numero uno. The first, why is it steering on an Xbox controller? We don't use that for cars, so why are we doing that here? Yep, sorry babe, let me do some parallel parking. Ah, for God's sake. Question 2. Going to the bottom of the ocean in a dishwasher does not seem like a good idea. And I hope that no one else thinks that this is a good idea moving forward. California man whose billionaire stepfather is missing on sub asks OnlyFans model to sit on him 30 minutes after pleading for prayers as he triggers war of words with Cardi B over Blink-182 concert. Yeah, fuck that. There'll be no further questions, Your Honor. Now, onto the football, and wait, hold on a second. Something's happening. There's a shift in the chakras. I don't know what that means. Oh, God. Neymar publicly apologizes to pregnant girlfriend Bruna Biancardi in cryptic message.
Easy money. Free money.
Neymar has taken to Instagram to apologize to his girlfriend for cheating on her. What in the Mauro Icardi? Now, you know what? It's time for a classic feature to return. Neymar just can't hold himself back when there's some cheeks in the local area that need clapping.
In that position, I just have to smash it.
This man falls apart after being in a loving relationship for over 25 minutes.
I would like to be a terrorist.
I had to stay loyal to one woman. One woman and I. Yeah! Look, listen, I'm not complaining. FNG Limited Enterprises is seeing its bills getting paid again this month. But what I will say though, why are you posting this online? She's your girlfriend. You know you could have sent her a Snapchat. Kylian Mbappe's waking up in the morning to see the caption, and his dad, probably otherwise known as his uncle, replied on Insta, and that was even more suspect.
Delivered that baby. Look, that's my son.
Why are you congratulating him? What in the bad publicity is this? This family has no HR department. Neymar's at the family barbecue expecting grief, but he gets applause from everybody there. Who am I kidding? The Brazilian star was probably distracted watching his cousins walk by in the front garden.
A couple of salts.
But I can't imagine his mum is as pleased. There was no congratulations from her, and she confronted his dad on the Insta comment.
Can you tell me who wrote that phrase?
I would need to check. It's possible that I wrote that.
I'd rather you didn't lie about this.
It's highly likely that I wrote that.
What percentage likely?
Yeah, probably 90% likely that I wrote that.
You wrote that, didn't you?
Okay, yeah.
It's gonna be an awkward Christmas in the Neymar household. Ho, ho, ho. You see, that's not a nice way to talk about your sister. Speaking of his sister as well, her reaction is at least positive. She's entitled to half of his worth by now, Ashraf Hakimi style. But honestly, I feel sorry for the girlfriend. How many times did Neymar swipe right on Tinder whilst in this relationship?
Quite a few times.
50 times?
More.
100 times?
More.
200 times?
More.
500 times?
Probably.
The poor girl walking in to see what was going on halfway through.
Hang on, let me finish.
At least you can try and get the attention of the other players next time there's a Brazil match and get back at her boyfriend.
I'm single. I'm just a little high maintenance, but I love you so much.
To be honest, their family tree looks like a rainforest. Why are we even shocked? This man was once younger than his own stepdad. Now, for this season's transfer activity, or as I like to call it, take a European to Saudi Arabia Day, there's been an influx of Chelsea deadwood and it's drifted across the sea. Kalidou Koulibaly, N'Golo Kante, Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang, Hakim Ziyech and Callum Hudson-Odoi. Hudson-Odoi? No one wants Hudson-Odoi. All Chelsea fans are absolutely loving life.
Oh, it's a good time.
But who else can get a move? Conor Gallagher's warming up outside of Saudi Arabia HQ.
What are you doing? Sorry.
Honestly, I for one am just hoping we can send James Corden over there too. But what is actually going on here? Well, the Saudi Arabian company involved also have stakes in Chelsea. And for me, things seem a little bit fishy. Offloading all the dead wood to pass FFP, perhaps? Taking the players that are on big wages, useless players, just to save Todd Bowley, perhaps? Chelsea have got a lot of sellable assets, alright, so they were never going to be in too much trouble. But overspending on the players that didn't want to leave, and then also taking them off the Blues' wage cap, it just doesn't seem okay with me. Todd Bowley had to plead to the Saudis in a meeting with them. And trust me, they've got money. There's no fair play. It's just financial over there. N'Golo Kante was shocked to see his new weekly wage.
$50 million.
And soon, 25% of Saudi Arabia will be covered with earth. The rest will be covered by Kante.
Ladies and gentlemen,
In a bit, G.
Mason Mount's seen a £46 million per month wage, and he's ready to leave Stamford Bridge.
That'll fucking do me. Come on, let's go.
Ziyech was left frustrated after saying yes to PSG, but Chelsea laughed him out of the room.
We?
Ruben Neves has also left the Premier League to head over to Al Ahly from Wolves. His wage for Ruben Neves.
What have we done to the world? Look what we've done.
Cristiano Ronaldo's gonna take it out on his Portuguese counterpart, seeing Ruben on more than him. But I've gotta say, I feel like some people are going a little bit too far on this one, suggesting that Ruben Neves is a complete sellout. It's a dangerous precedent. I mean, first of all, the guy's getting paid about 15 times more than he was at Wolves. He's responsible, ultimately, for a lot of people around him in his life, whether we like it or not. This guy's gonna get the ultimate payday, not just for him, but his entire family and friends network, probably. Plus, whilst I don't agree with a lot of things that go on in Saudi Arabia, and I have massive concerns about how much they're able to spend, I don't see a problem with a league expanding outside of Europe. I think a lot of us are too elitist in that sense. But what I would say is, none of these European teams are going to be able to compete with these wages, and also just general human rights in Saudi Arabia are a shocker. So we've got a little bit international there, but now it's time for the international break.
Good morning, England.
And it's time for me to find a way to bet on Tajikistan versus a village in Bhutan.
And you know me. I will bet every pound I got.
Speaking of farmers, and that's who England have played up against. It started with a win over Malta, including a banger from Trent Alexander-Arnold.
It's come back to Alexander-Arnold.
The Malteser goalkeeper was not too pleased seeing this ball fly past him.
That was too hard. Someone's gonna get hurt if you kick it that hard.
Beat Malta 4-0. You'll never sing that. You'll probably sing that. Well, look, listen, there's some positives, okay? Especially if you're a Malta defender, seeing you've only conceded 4 and checking your new and improved market value after the game. Jack Grealish was trying to recover from his treble celebrations.
I chose the wrong day to turn up with a sore head.
Look, I'm going to be straight with you now. I've had a bit of a late one. Feel a bit ropey.
But was at least able to enjoy that first sip from a Malta golden ale once he'd got over it. Meanwhile, Phil Foden had enough time in a pub to practice pub sports over the break.
and you get a bullseye, mate. Oh my gosh.
And the second match ended in a massive 7-0 thrashing of North Macedonia. Listen, this was such a bad smackdown, we've beaten South, East and West Macedonia at the same time. Bukayo Saka was on form with an absolute banger in this one.
Just shut up, who is my wing? Saka is my winger. Saka is my winger.
He scored more goals at Old Trafford in 2023 than Anthony has. Meanwhile, it was a first interaction between Jude Bellingham and Jordan Henderson in the England camp, and it's fair to say that Hendo wasn't too pleased seeing Jude laughing about his move to Real.
Top.
Who's Jordan again?
In Portugal and on international duty, we had a matchup between two of football's greats as Cristiano Ronaldo met Speed.
Very interesting.
Yep, that's right. Finally, Senor Speed met his idol as Rafael Leao organised it, but was confused when Speed started trying to have a conversation with him. It'll be even worse when the guy starts barking at Ronaldo, I'll be real.
the fuck is that guy?
But now, genuinely, this is actually a very wholesome interaction. All of this started from one donation on Twitch. Before this meetup and during the game, a pitch invader ran on and actually lifted Cristiano Ronaldo up into the air. I tell you what, now Speeds is actual security. Next time there's a pitch invader, it won't be allowed to happen again. From one GOAT to another though now, as Argentina were also in action and they faced off against Indonesia in a friendly. This was a battle of the ages. A tackle on Garnacho and he was straight back in. In the aftermath, this picture makes absolutely no sense. Poor Garnacho, man, trying to scroll through XXX websites. Also, how does an Argentina v Indonesia matchup even get organized? There was also a pitch invader in this one who hit a Sue as he was escorted off by the stewards. One Don decided to bring a Cristiano Ronaldo Argentina shirt to the game. Look, at least Big Ron's actually won a World Cup now. And one fan brought Messi's son on a banner and showed it to him whilst he was on the bus. I can't lie, is this not a little bit weird? Imagine poor Leo looking up and his marriage certificate's on a banner somewhere. It said, "Do you know who I am?" on it. Of course he does, it's his son, for God's sake. As long as someone doesn't bring a family member of Neymar's to a Brazilian game. Over in the CONCACAF Nations League, and things got heated in the semi-final between the US and Mexico, with 4 red cards brandished in a USA win. There were a couple of scuffles in this one as Cesar Montes kicked out at Balogun. A brawl breaks out with all players involved as Weston McKennie's shirt gets ripped. Here we have Weston as he got a KSI elbow to the jaw from Mexico's left back.
You don't know where I'm from, dog.
The US wanted to build a wall. There's no point. It would have been knocked down with 4 Montes kicks here. And there was another later on through a throw-in with Serginho Dest. Absolute violence from all sides. Christian Pulisic was left hurting after getting a slap to the face.
Mother trucker, dude. That hurt like a butt cheek on a stick.
USA players are going to be taking out their anger next time they see a piñata in the middle of the room. There was a stormtrooper in the crowd supporting Mexico, and with Mexico's lack of goals, then they've got the same shot accuracy as him as well. From the CONCACAF Nations League to the European version though now, as Spain beat Croatia in the final on penalties. There's the crazy stat of Jesus Navas, who made his debut for Spain in 2003. Then next year, Gavi was born, and now they've played in the same side that's won silverware for Spain. Luka Modric has got some choice words for his Spanish Real teammates tomorrow in training.
Fuck off, you Spanish cunt.
And honestly, shout out to Spain, but as a competition, it's good for small teams. But as a team, like a big nation wanting to win stuff, I genuinely care more about my foot champ scores than this. In Brazil, and Carlo Ancelotti is on the verge of taking a managerial role there. One eyebrow raise and he could change history, mate. He could finally get Richarlison a goal, for God's sake. Here's his interview when he gets more than 1 goal contribution in a game from the Tottenham striker.
I am a record man.
But who will be the next Real Madrid manager in 2024? Well, who followed him in at Everton? Frankie Lampard.
Yeah, so can I get the job, please?
Scotland faced off against Norway and were losing until late on when Erling Haaland came off and the Scots scored 2 late goals. Norway have fallen faster here than American crowd surfer. Haaland has done up farming, but the problem is he's grown decent footballers out of the dirt. In the crowd, and one fan was firmly getting a grip of the woman he was with. Problem is, as apparently according to social media, that was not it wasn't his girl. Someone's got an awkward journey home. At Sweden, and Alexander Isak has some complaints about the setups he's getting in warm-up.
Jag kan inte jobba med den här. Jag kan inte jobba med den. Här bror. Kolla hur jag lägger upp den här. Ja, okej, vänta, kör. Den var bra. Men hejta då, mamma. Jag ska bara den sista. Nej, men jag får första bollarna så driver den. Sista. Nej, boom! Okej, jag lägger upp och du sköter sig mål.
And after all that, missed anyway. Aston Villa midfielder Boubacar Kamara recently got married, but had to leave his first holiday as a married man with his new wife as an emergency call-up for France on international duty. He left his holiday, travelled to the camp, and hasn't played a single minute since getting the call-up. You know who's getting the call-up? Didier Deschamps from an angry woman. I'm convinced that Kavicha Kvaratskhelia has glue actually attached to his football boot. San Marino are still without a win in over like 170 games and face faced off against Finland in high spirits, even getting a shot on target off in the first 10, only to go 2-0 down, and their admin to say that they're playing against the Finnish, but they are finished. One United page posted a picture of Christian Eriksen with the Sweden flag. You can even see the Danish flag in the background, for God's sake, lads. Wout Weghorst was not pleased with Cody Gakpo refusing to square to him in disposition in the Nations League. Can we really blame him? It's Wout Weghorst. He's not going to score anyway. You might as well clear it out for a throw-in. Aston Villa tweeted about Emi Martinez's clean sheet records for Argentina, only for him to correct them down in the comment section. Meanwhile, at Panama, and they scored a delightful goal this week and brought out an even better celebration. Everyone getting together, highly orchestrated, rowing a boat to victory. Except for the fact that after all of that, it was disallowed through VAR. Hi, listen, yeah, so now tell them it's offside, lads. All of that drama didn't keep this fan in the crowd awake, no. After losses against Poland and Colombia, Germany are on a shocking run of form with only 3 wins in the last 15 matches.
Big man thing, yeah. It's not looking good, Bev.
These lot are firmly in the bin. Had plenty of chances against Poland but failed to score.
And who do you think that's because of?
Honestly, Kai Havertz is getting a move to Arsenal, yeah? He should not be. He should be going to the Bangladeshi Bengals, the Nairobi Needlefish. This guy's not Premier League quality now. Meanwhile, there was drama on the international stage as well. First of all, in New Zealand, as they walked off the pitch following an incident of racism directed from a Qatari footballer to one of their own. Qatar put out an official statement saying that New Zealand had refused to come out to play, but they didn't specify why did they not come out to play, Qatar. I want to ask you that. And the same thing happened for Ireland's under-21s against Kuwait. Great to see these clubs taking a stand, but obviously this shouldn't even be happening at all, and I hope that it leads to some kind of forfeit result for the aggressors here. Now, domestically, and there's been big news in the transfer market as Ilkay Gundogan is heading to Barcelona. Local Arsenal fans are celebrating with the Barca ones too. Meanwhile, Manchester City supporters have got a very different response after his imperative goals in the last couple of seasons. I mean, this guy's been integral to their treble this year, spurring them to important wins in the Premier League, captaining them to Champions League glory, and of course scoring in the FA Cup final twice. I'm convinced they would have won the World Cup if he'd have stayed with them. But he's going from Man City to Barcelona. This guy's not played for a team that's passed FFP rules in about 12 years. The Manchester City need a midfielder, but so do Arsenal, and they want Declan Rice, and I made 2 insulting bids for the West Ham captain. The next bid, £75 million and £1. But listen, it would be a good move, but if you're Declan Rice, you're petrified seeing Thomas Partey stood at the end of the bed. Thank fuck he's going off to Saudi Arabia as well, by the way. Though I have a feeling they're not going to rate his crimes too highly over there. Man City want him as well, though. That's the problem. And look, listen, if Declan doesn't get the game time he's wanting, he's going to have to occupy himself in a different way on the bench.
All right, stop. Collaborate and listen.
Meanwhile, Arsenal are going to struggle trying to match the £158 million bid from City.
We cannot.
Taylor Swift has announced a new tour. Listen, bear with me on this one, lads. And she's performing at Anfield. That's more appearances at the home of Liverpool than Artemello. We've got Trent Alexander-Arnold grabbing a meal whilst he's at the concert.
This is only £5 chicken burger and chips. So nice, such a bargain, and proper nice as well.
Meanwhile, Liverpool have announced that they are proud winners of the Operations Team of the Year award. Ladies and gentlemen, we're winning the quadruple. What do you mean we can't try and convince Jude Bellingham one final time with the Stadium Events and Hospitality Trophy? All I want is for Salah to be the entertainment at the Formal Accounting and Environmental Health Awards. Sandro Tonali could be about to sign for Newcastle from AC Milan, though he'll be out of there as soon as he walks into Iceland and sees a baked bean pizza on the shelves. Meanwhile, Ben White, I know he doesn't like football, but a career change to an air hostess seems extreme. Bournemouth and Atalanta have announced a friendly this week in the Head and Shoulders derby. And over in Ireland, Shelbourne's keeper has gone on Love Island. And honestly, based on his FIFA rating, he's probably going to do better on there. They're back on international duty, and there's the hilarious story from Tanzania. They faced off against Niger, and with the score 1-0 into additional time, Tanzanian ball boys were sent off by the match official because they spoiled 3 Niger counter-attacks by throwing spare balls onto the pitch repeatedly. The Niger goalkeeper's gonna be furious at the ball boys after a 27th offence.
Give that fucking ball!
Meanwhile, the outfielders are taking things into their own hands. And at Ivory Coast, and Serge Aurier managed to score easily the best own goal of this year. Meanwhile, AFCON qualification continued to give good vibes as goalkeepers have given up using their hands and are 360 no-scoping the ball away instead. Now, it's time for your goals of the week. There's some absolute screamers once again, starting off with Australia's under-17s and an absolute rocket dipping and diving from distance here. If you want distance with your goals of the week, then I can serve you up a nice platter of Real Salt Lake, with Pablo Ruiz managing to lob the goalkeeper from the halfway line. And finally, staying in the MLS, we got Philadelphia Union's Jose Martinez running onto the ball and cracking off the craziest volley with some insane swerve on it as well.
Away by Carlos and a crack from long range. What a shot! It's Jose Martinez with his first MLS goal.
تمرير على داخل منطقة الجزاء.
One of the greatest stories this series has ever seen. Now, at PSG, and the Julian Nagelsmann move for him to become manager at the Parisian side is off. PSG, make a good decision challenge. Impossible. I don't know why they've passed up this opportunity. Maybe they didn't align when it comes to monetary values. But all I know is Luis Enrique's arrived on the scene with a new PowerPoint presentation. Sergio Busquets is the latest new signing over at Inter Miami. This guy's got the Lionel Messi reference. And Gerard Piqué was devastated after his rejection from the MLS club.
I don't know what went into that process. I met the criteria to be selected, but I wasn't.
Hello all, and welcome to The Beautiful Game, the segment where we take a look at the poetic and brilliant side of the game that we love. We are back by popular demand for yet more glorious beauty.
Oh, what a goal that is!
And that concludes The Beautiful Game. There were crazy scenes over in Ireland at Cork's women's side where there was a stoppage in play because a toddler decided to steal the corner flag. The kid was swiftly picked up and driven home. In Denmark, and how about this for a celebration from, well, Lucas From, you score a goal. For me personally, you deserve a nice cold pint, and that's exactly what he's reached for. The most impressive thing I might have ever seen from a fan on a football pitch comes up next in the MLS again, where the challenge is to pass the ball as close to the center spot as you can. This guy might have absolutely nailed it. Back on the international stage and at Morocco, Bunu was an absolute hero for these lot in their crazy World Cup run in Qatar. After all the good stuff at the World Cup, it's only right that he balances it out with this howler against South Africa. The defending doesn't get too much better at Oman's under-23s, with this own goal sealing a 1-0 defeat to Iraq. Oman could have just cleared it away. Hold on, did he just cut me up? I'm showing him a piece of my mind.
Muchas gracias, afición. Este para vosotros.
In Japan, and look, listen, again, goalkeeping howlers, we see plenty of them in FTW. You thought the Bunu one was bad? It's about to get a whole lot worse here. But now it's time for the moment you've all been waiting for, because over in Romania, these lot can just never stay quiet. There's always something going on in the beautiful nation of Romania. And this time around, we're heading to FCU Craiova. And João Janeiro, who's lost his job at the club. He was their manager for 18 days. Yep, that's right. I don't totally know what João is guilty of doing in that 18-day period, especially given I'm not even sure they've played a game in that time. But unfortunately, João has received his P45 in record time. And Independiente versus Nacional, and we've got this kiss on TV that's been taken very badly by the wife involved. Underwater now, and we've got a shark dropping the shoulder here. He's hit the square and X combo. Over in America again, and in the NWSL, the women's league over there, we just got a great compilation from TV production of dogs in the crowd. This is the content that I am here for. I don't need the analysis. I need the dogs. We got some great graphic design for PDRM's next match over in Indonesia again. And in the replies, they said they would have made me their 4th choice left back if it wasn't for the knee injury. I appreciate the thought, lads. Meanwhile, in Paraguay, and I'm gonna be totally honest with you, we've got a definite example of match fixing. With this goalkeeper that's conceded 2 shocking goals. One running underneath his foot, and then trying to shoulder barge the ball from a free kick. Get him investigated. So we don't have the capacity. Now there is time for still 0-0, and you guys know the score by now. This is a segment of the show where I bring to you the best of Sunday League and amateur football. And this time around, we have got an indirect free kick inside of the area. Now this is a great opportunity for a goal, of course, because of your proximity to the back of the net. But one thing you've got to be on is the same wavelength as your teammate. Otherwise, things are going to go badly wrong. Like that. I mean, look, listen, there was a goal for what it's worth. On to the weird stuff though now. First of all, we head over to Finland and to Honka. Great name. Whoever came up with that sensational stuff. The Finnish Cup has started this week and Honka were drawn against their reserve side. Yep, they played against their under-23s, their own under-23s in the cup. Thankfully, they won 5-1, but the same badge at least make the tree a little bit smaller in the under-21s. And finally, over at Everton, Jean-Philippe Gbamin. You may have genuinely never heard of this man. They signed him about 3 years ago and he's played like 2 games for them. He's decided to take matters into his own hands and start selling his own Everton kit on Facebook Marketplace. I don't know how tough things have got for this man. He's still an Everton player, so someone's got to have a conversation with that when he comes into training. Bold of him to label them as match worn as well, I'll be honest with you. They're barely gonna even need washing. But that though is gonna wrap up football this week, and I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, then feel free to slap a like on the video and of course subscribe if you're new to the channel. You can also follow me on social media. It is at @officialfng on Twitter and on Insta. It's been a pleasure ranting at you guys today. Have a wonderful day, enjoy yourselves, and goodbye.